Hello again, my name is Cameron, and today I'm going to be talking about a recent project of mine in which I added some of the missing features from the Epic Games Store with regards to game installation management. Alright, so let's talk about some of the features that I find crucial to game installation management that are currently not available in the Epic Games Store. Alright, so the Epic Games Store does not have the ability to relink a pre-installed game, relink or detect a pre-installed game. So this means that if you were to, let's say, move games to a different computer, or if you reinstalled the Epic Games Launcher, you have no official way to have the launcher detect these games. Another feature that's missing is if you were to move a game to a different folder location than what it was originally installed to, the launcher would be unable to find these games, and because you have no way to relink a game back to the launcher, the only way for the launcher to locate this game would be to move the game back to the original folder location. The instructions you see here are provided by the official Epic Games Help Center. The question is, can the Epic Games Launcher detect previously installed games? And the instructions they give are a workaround in which you have to begin downloading the game, pause the download after a few seconds, and then copy some files around in order to get the launcher to be able to locate the game. There's another page here where it says how to move an installed game from the Epic Games Launcher to another directory on your computer. And they pretty much have you do something similar where you need to move some files around, you need to start and stop an uninstallation, and you have to go through all of these steps in order to get the launcher to recognize the new location of the game. The issue with these workarounds is that you have to do it for every individual game, which can be very tedious. All of these features have been missing for years, and so I thought I'd try my hand at creating a program to add these features and improve the user experience. So let's talk about the features that my program adds. It adds the ability to relink pre-installed games to the launcher. It also adds the ability to move games to another folder location and have those games stay linked to the launcher. And then finally, it has some useful management utilities so that you can bring your games to another PC or over to another installation of the Epic Games Store. Alright, so how do we actually use the program? To the top right, you can see a list of pre-installed games, and if we go to the Epic Games Launcher, we can see those games listed here. So let's change that. Let's disassociate the games from the launcher by moving them to a different folder. So now the launcher is still referencing the original location, but will be unable to find any games. We can see here it is loaded and no games found, and it does not show this game as installed. So how do we reassociate these games back to the launcher? Well, that's where my program comes in. So let's go ahead and run this. We're going to use the default manifest path for the launcher, and we're going to enter the game's location, the parent folder for the games. So it is going to give us a menu, and these top two functions are utility functions, and the bottom two are management functions. So what we're going to do is we're going to first back up our manifests. You'll see why in a moment. There you go. That's going to copy over the .item manifest files from the launcher, and it's going to create this folder called manifest backups within the parent folder of your games. And it's going to have these files copied here. So if we actually look inside of these files, inside of one of the files, you can see that these files contain information relating to the state of the program. So we have stuff like the executable name, we have stuff like the install location, the version of the game, where to download files for updates, things such as that. But we can see here that these location references are now broken because they reference the old location of the game. So let's reassociate these manifest files back to the new location of the games. So let's run my program again. We're going to enter the game's location, and then we're going to use the relink manifest option. That is going to change those locations to be the correct location of the game. So if we go back into here, you can see instead of program files Epic Games, it is now program files new game location. So now we're going to restore these manifest files back to the launcher. There we go. So these files have been copied back to the launcher program data folder. And now the Epic Games Launcher will know the location of these games. There we go. And then if we go to library, it shows as installed. So let's go ahead and close out of this. So one issue with this is that if your games are not installed, or if your games have never been associated with the currently installed Epic Games Launcher, that means your games will not have these .item manifest files. And if these don't exist, then you're not going to be able to reassociate them with the launcher. And so that means for each individual game, you will have to follow the workarounds provided by Epic Games in order to force the launcher to create these .item folders. .item manifest files. But once these are created, then you can use my program to actually manage them, and you won't need to mess around with the workarounds after that. So let's go ahead and clear this. And what we're going to do now is use the move game option. So let's say we wanted to move the game back to the Epic Games folder right here. Oh, we're not going to copy that. We're going to copy new game location. So move game installation. And before that, we're going to want to backup manifests. So in this case, because the launcher has not run any updates on the games or anything like that, it's most likely that the manifests have not changed. But usually you are going to want to run backup manifests. So we're going to do that. And then do this. All right, so now we are going to move the games. And we're going to choose what games we want to move. I currently don't have an option to move all games at once, but that may be added in a future update. So right now I'm just going to make a list. And then we're going to input a destination path. And hit yes. And it's going to move all of the games as well as create a manifest file over here and move the manifest folder and move the manifest files into the new folder. And you can see they have moved out of this folder. So if we actually go and look inside of this .item manifest file, we can see that it has the correct location reference from using the move installation option of my program. So it has program files Epic Games, which originally it had program files new game location. And so because of that, now we can use the restore option to restore these manifest files back to the Epic Games Launcher. And the launcher will be able to recognize the installed games. So restore, it copies these back to the Epic Games Launcher. And then if we open the launcher, it shows the games as installed. There we go. And let's say you wanted to move your games to a second PC. So for example, I store my games on an external storage drive and like to move that drive between different computers. So if I wanted to do that, I would first use the backup manifest function, which would get a copy of the manifest from the first PC's launcher, and then I would move my external storage drive to the second PC and use the restore manifest function, which will copy manifests from this backups folder to the Epic Games launcher of the secondary PC. And with that, the second PC's launcher will be able to recognize the games as installed. When you do that, the games may not by default show in quick launch until you start running them and such, but I was able to see that they were installed by going to the library tab. Alright, so that is about everything I have to say regarding the usage of the program. So if you're interested in testing it out, there will be a link in the video description for the GitHub repository. Also within the GitHub repository, there are my research notes for when I was developing the project, and a recommendation on how Epic Games can add the moving games feature and feature for linking pre-installed games. So thank you for watching.